Hey, my loves. Welcome to the first episode of In Her Own Voice. I am Queen Visionary, and I'll be the one you hear behind the mic. But at the same time, I'm always standing on the front line, ready to inspire and empower those who struggle to lift their voices. I created this space to be a mix of everything that feeds the soul: stories of courage, songs that inspire, advice to help you grow, nuggets of wisdom that make you pause and reflect, and even some giveaways to encourage your journey. We'll also have moments of self evaluation so you can check in with your own growth and progress. We even may shed a tear of healing every once in a while, but we will breathe in what matters. So get comfortable, take a breath with me, because this is where silence breaks, truth blooms, and every word is spoken boldly. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Thank you for listening. Can I tell you a story? Now, fair warning, this story isn't pretty. Take another breath. Once upon a time, I didn't have a voice. Not like I wasn't able to speak, but there were so many barriers in front of my calling, and I was too scared to take control of my space, worried about what others thought or said about me, insecure about how my ideas could verbally be expressed. I'm smart, but didn't have the greatest vocabulary. My teeth aren't perfect, and I've dealt with a lisp. I've fought my way through life terrified to stand in front of people. But this didn't just begin. As a child, I was uber shy and very timid. They say I was attached to my mother's hip 24/7. I was born with clubbed feet and had to wear leg braces. The doctor told my mother I would never walk, and if I did, it wouldn't be without assistance from walking aids. But at the age of 2, the story goes that I suddenly stood up and began walking. At the age of 9, I became a victim of molestation by someone who was and still is close to my family. At the time, I didn't truly realize what was happening, and it was done in the name of play cousin stuff. This went on until I was 11, when play cousin got older and stopped coming around. At the very same time, my mom and dad separated. So my mom, my 2 sisters, and I moved into a new house to start a new life, just the 4 of us. All these pressures kept me quiet. I began writing stories and poems at age 12, seeking to put my thoughts on paper because I didn't know how to vocalize them. Sure, I had friends, cousins, classmates, and all the things who I played with. I have a lot of fond childhood memories. I wasn't an odd kid, but when it came to my inner feelings, I kept it all bottled up. When I was 16, I was secretly dating a neighborhood drug dealer who showed his affection through physical and verbal abuse. But then he would buy me gifts to make up. I experienced things with him that no 16-year-old should. Let's just say I saw too many gangster movie scenes play out in real life. I lost a street brother who was killed in front of me by this same abusive boyfriend. He ended up in jail over something non related, and he lost his life a couple years later while still locked up. Those struggles stayed with me. My early adult years became even more challenging with a few terrible life choices, failed relationships, mental struggles, physical struggles, several suicide attempts, and heartbreaks. I was lost, faking the stability that I craved. I sought resolve in alcohol and partying. For a lot of my early adulthood, I struggled with public speaking due to these lasting traumas and insecurities. But even with all this, my heart and love for people has always been huge. I've always craved love, and even more so, craved to give it away. I have a natural gift of counsel, a gift to put people in a mindset that they are valued, important, and can achieve the best versions of self and purpose. I can encourage and give adoration to those around me with the best of them, but could never fully get myself to believe it for me. Many have said to me that they've been inspired by my words, the way I carry myself, the way I handle things, not knowing that I was struggling with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and self doubt for so many years. But one day, I decided enough was enough. It's time to heal. I got back in touch with God, for real. I began hanging around the right crowd who mentored me and poured into me. They helped me realize that I didn't have to ask permission to exist fully, that God made me on purpose, and that there is a queen inside of me. One day, I was thinking about everything I do for others, how I constantly show up for everyone else and thrive in this mentoring light a lot of people place me in. When suddenly it hit me, Rena, just like you bless so many others, be that same way to yourself, warm, encouraging, present, and still powerful. Treat self like you treat others. And in that moment, I understood that the things I'd been through didn't mean I have to shrink down and be small. Being gracious with and forgiving of myself, it didn't make me weak. It makes me real. It makes me whole. Writing is still a love of mine, even in my 40s. I've written whole books and a few songs, none of which have ever been published. But it still creates that handicap for me. But because even now before I speak, I begin to write. Public speaking is still a challenge for me, but I've grown with that so much. I used to let fear and self-doubt stop me from sharing what I truly wanted to say. Even now, I still get nervous sometimes, but over time, I'm learning to lean on God and remember who I am and whose I am. And I want to encourage you to do the same. No matter how small the step, each moment you decide to face your fear is a victory. Now, everyone won't be in supportive standing with you. People will discover your weaknesses and they'll abuse the access. They'll use it against you and they'll try to destroy you and make it seem like you're the problem because you're struggling. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, convince you that your steps don't count. This is your journey. There is no one that is currently breathing and walking this earth that walks in perfection. There are millions of dreams waiting to be brought to life, but so many will die, held back by fearful souls and unhealed hearts. What dreams have you buried from fear, baggage, or doubt? I want you to think about that dream you once had. Maybe something you wanted to create, start, or achieve, but pushed aside because it felt too risky, too impossible, or too scary. You hesitated because someone spoke toxic words over you. You postponed because you weren't ready to speak up. I have buried some dreams myself, but God reminds me every day that those dreams are still a part of me. And today I want to invite you to revisit that dream, but with a refocused mind, a new lens, and under new mental management. Look at it with wisdom, courage, and faith. Close your eyes for a moment and picture that dream. What if you allowed yourself just one small step towards it this week? Listen, fear and doubt, they're natural, but they will try to whisper you can't or you're not enough. But here's the truth. You've already overcome so much. Every fear you faced before has made you stronger. Every doubt you silenced has built resilience in your heart. I don't know who this is for, but in the light that you have, it needs to be seen and heard by the masses. Stretch yourself into that scary, unknown, beautiful, freeing space that's meant to propel you and soar. I decided to finally allow my voice to become the prelude to what lies ahead of me: greater purpose, healing, and freedom. And I believe that you can do that too. Today, take this with you. Speak your truth in everything you do, even if it's soft at first, even if it's only to yourself. It may not be loud and bold just yet, but admittance and verbal manifestation are the best steps you can take. Plant the seed, and if you water it, or in this case, feed it with consistency and positivity, it will grow. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn to sit with your truth. The world will also learn, and they'll lean in and they'll listen. This week, write down one small action that you can take towards using your voice and fulfilling your dreams. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big, but make sure you take that step. And as you do, heed your own words. Your voice matters. Thank you for sitting with me today. Thank you for being a part of my journey. It's a pleasure to have you with me. I know I just threw a lot on you all on our first date, but that's what this platform is for: healing through transparency. It's a part of my story and I'm still writing it. So, cheers to the success of the first episode of In Her Own Voice. I'm so glad you stopped by. If you'd like to share a story with me, you have a topic to discuss, ask for advice, prayer, or just vent, please feel free to email me at 320EENT at Gmail. That's 320EENT at Gmail. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, your fears don't define you, your doubts don't control you, and your dreams are waiting for you. Until next time, keep speaking in your own voice.